Okay, we are live with a wonderful episode of BS Busters, the Batman v Superman review. We're not going to spend all day on the review, just 20 to 30 minutes, just giving um, a spoiler-free review. But before we do, I want to introduce my panelists, starting from my left all the way down. So to my immediate left, at least on my screen, is Quan Manchu. Introduce yourself, Quan.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Quan Manchu over here chilling in the cut with my friends as usual, trying to get it down, you know what I'm saying, as far as giving you guys info on this movie, and hopefully you'll enjoy the review. There you go. I'm done.
Okay then. To his immediate left is Neo Paleo Gamer, who I will call KH Anime because that's who he used to be. I can't keep with all these name changes, man. Neo, KH, you got something to say? KH. Okay, fine then. To his immediate left is the main man himself, Kanoshi. Kanoshi, introduce yourself.
Hello, this is Kanoshi Abominito, here to say that if you think the grass is greener on the other side, I'm sorry to tell you, it's just AstroTurf or they painted it.
Wow, that is a bleak thing. We also have Brownie Takashi. Brownie Takashi, introduce yourself.
Hey, this is Brownie Takashi, formerly known as Shadow Hero 43, and you people are brave. If you're guys, if you're here, you are men. Men are brave. But if you're not, that's okay. You're brave here, so let's get to it.
Okay, and now we're gonna go back to Neo Paleo Gamer.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself, sir.
Alright, Neo here, ladies and gentlemen. I have nothing too interesting in terms of an introduction today, but I'm working on my other addiction.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Someone going old school right there. So here we go, gentlemen. We're going to give a spoiler-free review of Batman v Superman, and I'm just going to keep it real with you guys. The way I pretty much structure reviews is I don't give scores. I don't give any like scores or grades or anything. I just say, is it worth watching? Is it not worth watching? Whatever. So, and I do it by categories. So we'll talk about what we thought about the overall, the graphics, the music, the characters, and then how we felt about the movie overall. And then we'll give it like, was it worth it? Was it not worth it? Should you just save your money and go do something else? So who wants to go first? Who saw it?
And silence.
Okay, I guess I'll jump in.
I'll say BS Busters will be rescheduled for another time. Until people may see this movie.
I'm not going to go that far, but the special effects of this film were really good until a certain portion where a Hulk-like villain comes into the movie, and that was the point where I was just like, no, I checked out at that point. So that was just me.
Are you sure that was a Hulk thing or a turtle? I got confused there.
I thought it was. I mean, in the comics, the character is kind of equated to Hulk. In this movie, he looked like one of the fifth turtle that escaped from that shitty movie with Megan Fox.
Let's be real. Let's be real. That movie, you know, with Megan Fox, the only reason people went to watch that movie was because of Megan Fox.
Yeah, because the whole movie, like half of the movie, the camera is like shoved so close to her ass, you can. Well, I could go further, but I'm not going to. But suffice it to say, graphically, the movie looks really good when it's like more practical special effects and when the CGI is very underdone. But there are parts of the movie when the CGI is so heavy that it's like they stuck you in a studio that was just green from the floor to the ceiling, and that's what they did. Like you were just in a green room the entire time, and I.
No, I mean, but it's the actual effects, just like at best.
Did they go as far as the old-fashioned matte paintings in the background and go like all Harryhausen on it?
I would have loved it had they done that. They didn't. They just.
Ray Harryhausen for the win, though. You know,
I love Harryhausen. I love Clash of the Titans. The beast from 5,000, 50,000
10,000
fathoms.
10,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The
Sinbad.
Valley of Gwangi.
Sinbad.
Yeah, Sinbad. I mean, I like Harryhausen, and I think Jason and the Argonauts. Like, I like that type of old stuff like that. But I don't know if they there's room for special effects like that, but they don't really do it that much because it's so time consuming. And a lot of people want to go. Expediency is the enemy of excellence with a lot of art type projects.
I mean, I kind of wish they sat up there and go with the old practical effects in some way, so make it feel more real.
Like Star Wars did?
And at the CGI to sit up here and just touch up everything.
Yeah.
Like what Star Wars did?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
Rather, the latest Star Wars, you mean?
Yeah, that one.
But even in the Phantom Menace, there was a lot of CGI, but there was also a lot of practical special effects too. I like practical special effects, and you use CGI. CGI is should be used like makeup, just to kind of touch up what needs to look a little bit better, or to make it look a little bit like this. But if all you're doing is someone has to act with something that's not actually there, it gets kind of weird to me. But whatever.
I hear you, dude. I mean, that's the problem with modern day special effects. They overdo it. Like in the case of the remake, rather, or demake, if you want to call it that, of The Thing.
Oh God! I did a review of all three of those films.
They had excellent practical effects that were made for it originally, and they threw out those designs in favor of this whole entire thing that they did with the CGI.
Yeah, that film was kind of a disappointment for me because, they got some of the people who worked on the original film, the same studio, the same special effects studio, to make the things, and I'm like, technology has come so much farther, they can make this shit look even better, but instead, what they did was that they just kind of they CGI'd it up, and that's what happened with Batman v Superman. There were parts where it was just like, there's just too much CGI in this. It's too much CGI.
They could have dialed it back. Remember, in the case of Cloverfield, they didn't have a max budget and whatever, and they were able to produce something that was fairly convincing, as well as the minor creatures that were off on the ground. I don't want to spoil it too much for those who haven't seen the movie, even though it's been out for ages. There's no excuse.
No, you can spoil Cloverfield. It's been out for a long time.
Basically, these tick-like creatures were on top of the main monster that were falling off, and they were shredding the people, infecting them with a disease that would cause them to basically become a gigantic cyst and explode.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
it was kind of awesome watching that.
It was for me, Cloverfield. Good way though. It was very, very convincing.
For me, Cloverfield was like a found footage horror movie and not a monster film.
It was more about the people, though.
Yeah, it was more like a found footage horror movie. And had they marketed it as just a found footage horror movie, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But when people were trying to compare it to Godzilla, I was offended because I'm a Godzilla fan, and Godzilla films are disaster films, right? Like, there's no one can defeat. You can't fight an earthquake or a tornado or a hurricane. The only thing you can really do is get out of the way.
They're force of nature / acts of God, if you will.
Yeah, and Cloverfield, there were people fighting against the thing and trying to, at least. I was like, I mean, I don't really like most American takes on monster movies anyway, because they're very formulaic. It's like the military comes in and saves the day. Woo! And look, I'm all against the military.
I would like to see the military lose flat out, even though I was in the military myself, because it would be a more realistic take. If a creature that massive
exactly.
Out, and you would presume would be so thick that there is no way you could prevent, you could basically, penetrate it with, modern ballistics unless you use something like a hammered down protocol. Which is what they tried to imply in the case of Cloverfield, but they didn't execute it properly. But going back to, Batman v Superman, I have a feeling, even though I haven't seen the film, that they made the same mistake that Cloverfield did.
Yeah,
in what area?
Well, in the way they executed the effects versus what the actual fighting of the monster would be.
Well, that's the thing about the film, is that the fighting is the low tech fighting that Batman does in the first hour of the film, where he's just like going up against thugs and criminals. Pretty brutal. Fairly entertaining. the superhuman fights between Batman and his power armor and his kryptonite bullets. And I know some people say no spoilers. Look, the only way Batman can beat Superman is if he has kryptonite. Okay, let's just keep it real.
As a matter of fact, in the comic books, Batman has a ring made out of kryptonite just in case Kal-El, aka Superman, goes out of control.
Yes, he does. But in this one, there's no ring because this is actually. So basically, I mean, graphically, the film was the special effects were serviceable. The low-tech special effects were good, where you just needed choreography and a little bit of CGI were great. The special effects where they used CGI looked kind of stupid to me, but that's just me. How'd you feel, Brownie? You saw it.
Well, I didn't cringe too much. The fight against Doomsday, I cringe in some parts, but...
Spoilers!
It's all over.
It's over now, Dan.
Yeah, when Doomsday showed up, that's all I'm going to say. Just, so...
And what I saw from the trailer, it reminded me of the old version of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Remember the old movie, not the newer one?
The one with Ang Lee?
Yes, the Ang Lee version of Incredible Hulk.
I wish it was like the old version of Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk, but it wasn't even that good, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's just my own personal opinion. Let's move on from graphics, because I think we've beleaguered how the graphics are. Like, the low-tech special effects are pretty good, like the fight choreography, pretty good. The high-tech stuff, I was not impressed with. I mean, either they weren't using a good amount of money to make it look a certain way, or they didn't allocate funds correctly to make it look good, but that's just me. Let's talk about the music, Brownie. What did you think of Hans Zimmer's rousing score?
It was okay. I mean, I didn't cringe, that's for sure.
The word serviceable comes to mind.
Yeah. The thing is this, I would have loved to have heard the John Williams score for Superman and the Danny Elfman Superman Batman preamble for Batfleck, but
yeah, Batman wasn't that memorable. His music,
but it was Hans Zimmer, and I'm sorry, Hans Zimmer is just not like, I don't really like his music. I think he suffers from a lack of volume control with his films. Like, it's either too loud or not loud enough.
I understand that. Yeah.
Their breath.
What?
Like a singer that can't hold their breath properly and project.
Well, I mean, it's like, okay, let me put it this way. I was watching Interstellar, right? Hans Zimmer did the score for that, and there's parts of it where it's like the volume is so loud on Hans Zimmer's music that you can't hear what the characters in the movie are saying.
Well, that's just poor sound editing. Like,
yeah, he's like, just. And I'm like, dude, you're the guy who did the score for this. You should know how to control the volume when you're putting together a score for a film. And I'm like, because like, here's the thing: Hans Zimmer has been doing movie music since the '80s, right? He's like 10, 15 years younger than John Williams, well, he's like 20 years younger than John Williams. Okay, he's like 10 years younger than Danny Elfman. Like, he's been doing enough movies where he should know how to do music. And yet, apparently, volume control is something that's a foreign concept to him. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, this shit's too loud.
Oh, Lord. I'm just telling you right now, one thing that enhances a movie is the musical score. And if you can't get that right, you kind of ruin the pacing of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Sound and visual go hand in hand together with such things, you know? That's why I appreciate some of the lower budget movies that take an artistic inspiration and force themselves to actually add to the medium in the sense that they allow themselves to be creative, take a poetic license, with the sound.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in Mario Galaxy, the stages are memorable, but they're memorable because of their music as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Especially in the first Mario Galaxy. Like when you go to Battle Rock Galaxy and you're like, you've been launched from the stellar observatory, and like from the cosmic observatory, and like there's cannons going off in the distance, like trying to shoot down Mario, and it's like the music is like really kind of epic and everything. I'm like, dang, this is really awesome.
That's just in a game. I mean, it's sad.
Yeah.
These type of things in a lot of the big feature films, they basically don't see the forest for the trees when it comes to their designs as far as visual effects and sound. They forgot how to bring the audience and pull them in because they have too many resources and not a sense of direction in how to use them.
Yep, and the music becomes very generic. And I know what some people are going to say. Well, what do you mean? This music isn't generic. Okay, what's the theme song for Man of Steel? You can't. Even if there was a main theme song in the movie, you can't remember it. But I ask you to I play the theme song for John Williams' Superman March. You know exactly what it is. What's the theme song for the Dark Knight movies? It's some Hans Zimmer's bullshit with drums and shit and a piano. But if I play the Danny Elfman Batman opening preamble, you know exactly what it is because it's very iconic. It's very boom. You know what's going on.
One used
Yep.
It was the one that was Batman animated series. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, they did it for the movies. They did it for the first two movies, and then it kind of went down the crapper when Joel Schumacher took over because.
Oh Lord! Let me tell you something. If you're talking about the soundtrack for the first two movies, also taking into account the first movie and listening to what Prince did, that was inspired. Prince did an inspired soundtrack for the movie as well.
Yep. It was like it was a movie made in 1989, and it fits in 1989. But I can still go back and watch that film from 1989 and have fun watching it.
Remember the song "Trust" when the Joker starts dancing around inside the museum?
Right.
That was iconic. I don't care what anybody says. It has that manic sense, you know what I'm saying, of the Joker, that insanity about it. You know, where it made sense, but it didn't make sense at the same time.
Well, I mean, the thing is that like the thing that people that all the Joker interpretations have pretty much gotten down pat is that the Joker is crazy and he's gonna make you die laughing. If it kills you, he's gonna make you die laughing. Like literally, if it totally kills you, you're gonna die with a smile on your face. And that's basically like his shtick, really.
Go with a smile.
Yeah, you're gonna go out with a smile on your face. It's going to be a horrific smile because he gassed you with laughing gas or gave you the joy buzzer or gave you some type of chemical that makes your face be in a permanent rictus smile, but you'll die with a smile on your face. But the music of this film was not very memorable. I didn't find myself saying, wow, I remember everything. I was like, nah.
Well, there is one theme that highlighted me, but I'm not gonna mention much.
Okay, all right, okay, I'll let you.
Oh, I'm just telling you right now, bro. This is the things that affect the movie overall. You know, one thing I would like to see, and the trailer kind of spoiled it, is them not putting everything out there as far as the plot, the overall plot. And that messed up the movie for a lot of people, to the best of my understanding. I haven't even seen the movie, and I already know Doomsday appeared.
The second trailer told everything. It was like, I don't even, literally, I don't know why I saw this movie after I saw the second trailer, because I was like, I don't need to see this movie. I already know what's going to happen. And that second trailer ruins the whole movie, because you're like, you know what everything's going to happen.
And let me tell you something. I had 10 Cloverfield Lane spoiled for me, and I'm still going to go see it, because at least the trailer didn't do that.
Well, the thing is like...
Yeah, very little information as much as possible.
Exactly. That draws you in. You need the sense of mystery. Remember how the whole entire campaign, the AR campaign that they had for Cloverfield, and how it drew you into the whole entire concept that there was this company, they were jigging out underwater to try to come up with this ingredient for Slusho, and then there was something down there, and they didn't go into detail, you know what I'm saying, that was released as a result, you know what I'm saying, or awakened. And they had a manga tie-in and everything. It was up to you to sit there and go into the whole AR campaign if you wanted. You know, it left it to your discretion if you wanted to unlock the clues and see what was really going on with the film. You know? That was interesting, was intriguing, was refreshing. But with these trailers nowadays and ruining the whole entire plot of the film, I'm like, what's the freaking point?
Well, yeah, like that movie Quarantine. Like, you pretty much see the end in the trailer. That movie was terrible, by the way.
Oh, Quarantine?
No,
I
yeah.
think I'd rather watch the Mexican version.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I would rather watch the Mexican version. This is not even a joke. This is not me being sarcastic. I'm being dead serious. I think it was called Wrecked. Record, as in recorded. I would like to see that movie. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really had the opportunity, but I would like to do a comparison of the two. That's another thing. When you see these remakes out here nowadays, where they take the J horror, the M horror, the K horror, and they don't know how to take a good advantage of the source material and translate it into English, I have a problem with that.
well, the thing is like for a lot of that stuff, it's like it boils down to culture. Like there are things that that they show in J horrors that like you can't really do it. Like I'll give you an example. Old Boy. Old Boy is one of the best Korean horror films you'll ever see.
Oh,
And I'm not going to ruin the twist ending for you guys, but it is some of the most effed up shit you've ever seen. Like you're like, what the
dude,
like you don't
I know the twist, and it's enough to make you vomit inside your cup in the theater.
Yeah, you're gonna puke a little
Interesting.
bit. You're gonna puke a little bit. Now here's the thing. I like Spike Lee. He's a very good director. But he did a shitty Old Boy Americanized remake with James Brolin and Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, come on, man. You just no.
Names is not enough. You needed some basically off-market names in order to pull it off property, because otherwise you're expecting those character actors to fill a niche inside the movie based on the performances they've done prior. Am I right?
Yep.
And you don't expect them to fit a new mold. As a result, you find yourselves cheated. You're expecting James Brolin to be James Brolin. You're expecting, Samuel L. Jackson said, I wish they would die, and I hope they burn in hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Which would have made that movie better because Spike Lee's version of Old Boy was terrible. Like I'm gonna keep it real. They should have given that to Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, yes.
Quentin Tarantino could have done a good remake of Old Boy, but Spike Lee just doesn't. Spike Lee doesn't have Spike Lee's movie. He doesn't do movies like that. Like Quentin Tarantino, that's his wheelhouse. Ultra violent, pulpy movies. That's totally Quentin Tarantino's wheelhouse. Because believe me, I saw The Hateful Eight.
Oh my God.
I saw The Hateful Eight the day after Christmas. I saw the special thing. I've got the with the intermission and everything, and I mean that's his wheelhouse. And Old Boy is ultra violent, but we're kind of getting off topic. We're
sort of on topic, believe it or not. We're talking about interpreting,
the source material, yeah, which leads to the characters, Brownie, because you saw it. How did you feel the representations of the characters in the film were compared to what they are?
So describing them in personality and stuff and how they were feeling at the moment.
And how close they were to the comic book versions.
Okay, I don't know much about Wonder Woman, but Batman looked like he was hurt, and Superman wasn't like what the guy you know and love. Like he never lies and all that stuff, and I'm forgetting his qualities right now, but he's not that much close to the source material.
The character that you said you're not familiar with is the one I'm most curious about, and that's Wonder Woman. So what would you say, Red Fox? Would you say that she was close to the source material? Was she the Amazon? Or basically did they sit up here and take her to some totally different direction, considering the actress involved / model?
Let me put it this way: Gal Gadot physically looks nothing like Wonder Woman. Physically, she's like 5'6", which like Wonder Woman's like 6'2". Superman is like 6'4", and she's just slightly shorter than he is. Like the first time he met Wonder Woman, he smooches the shit out of her, Like he's like, shit. like that's how hot Wonder Woman is. Gal Gadot is 5'6", and she's not an unattractive woman. But I mean, with Wonder Woman, you can only do so much with CG. You know what I'm saying?
You expect a more voluptuous woman, in other words.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, it's not like there aren't tall, curvy women in Hollywood who could play that role. Like,
that's a difficult role to play, though, because you have to actually portray a sense of empowerment that goes beyond the average woman.
And I'm going to tell it right now, if you go to a tennis court, you will find women that are like 5'9", 5'10", 6 foot even, that are tall enough to pull off, like, they're tall enough and curvy enough to pull off that look.
If Hollywood didn't have such a racial hang-up, I'd say Venus Williams.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Wonder Woman doesn't have to be like. I would rather take a Wonder Woman because the thing is this: Wonder Woman is an Amazon. There is nothing Amazon about a 5'6" woman. I'm sorry. There's nothing. I mean, I know some people are gonna get mad, but there's just. I'm sorry. It just
look. You know how people sat up there and they basically went all ape shit when they made Baldar into like a black guy. And for no reason whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? The guy who basically defends the Bifrost Bridge.
Yeah, but I mean that.
And the thing is, they went nuts about that, not realizing that this guy had the majesty to portray Baldar. Baldar is a tall dude. He was very warrior-like, very stoic, and he was able to portray that role to me.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about how someone portrays the character. As far as I'm concerned, like, Ben Affleck plays a decent Batman, but a very stupid Batman. And I'm not going to spoil why I think he's stupid, other than he does things that are like, you're not like the qualities of Batman in the comics and in the TV shows and anime and is like he's very methodical, very like his backup plans have backup plans, which they also have backup plans. Like, it's very hard to surprise Batman. He's always got a backup plan. This Batman was very like, fuck it, I don't care. This is sloppy Batman. And the thing is this, Batman's never sloppy. Especially, this is supposed to be an older Batman. Like, he's been Batman for like 15, 20 years. Like, he's not going to be that sloppy being Batman. It makes no sense. But, yeah, it was kind of like, I'm a little... Henry Cavill played a wooden performance of Superman. Wooden as hell. Like, the whole time he looked like he was either going to shit himself, like shitting his pants, or he was holding in a sneeze, or possibly if he sneezed too hard, he was gonna shit his pants.
One of the problems.
Wow.
Wait! I got a good anecdote to add to that. You're talking about Joey Tribbiani's smell the fart acting.
Yeah, that's basically what the guy he's like there's a scene where he's like Lex Luthor is talking shit to him, and he's like got this look on his face, and he looks like he doesn't look like he's angry. He looks like he's trying to hold in a sneeze. And I'm like, here's the thing. I know Henry Cavill can act. No, he's not as good an actor as he's not a good actor as Ben Affleck. But I know he can play better roles because I saw him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. where he played a suave, smug bastard. You know? And I know he can act. He's not a great actor, but he's not as bad as he was. But this boils down to script writing and direction from the director. And Zack Snyder is not a very good director, so I mean, what are you gonna do?
Okay, one question.
Go ahead.
Has anyone watched Justice League War?
You mean the one where
the animated one?
It's the one, yeah. It's the animated one where it's like an alternate thing where they're all like in an alternate universe and like everyone's all warlike and asshole-ish.
So you're talking about basically similar to Flashpoint?
Is that how Wonder Woman's supposed to be like?
No, if you want to see a good interpretation of Wonder Woman, I advise you watch Justice League All-Star.
Okay.
Because she's she's an Amazon. She's tall and powerful, and like stacked, but will fuck you up.
No, Justice League Unlimited.
Justice League Unlimited or Justice League the original animated series, like either of those, you'll see Wonder Woman for what she is. Like she's not like Gal Gadot. I mean, look, they made her look serviceable with CGI, but Wonder Woman, you shouldn't need CGI to make Wonder Woman look badass.
Well,
Really,
the thing that turns me off of these movies, and this is just me being nitpicky, or at least most of the DC movies, is like, when I was a kid, I enjoyed the Justice League original animated series and Justice League Unlimited. So every time I think of those characters, I think of those voices, because I don't know how those voices stack up today, but I just remember the voice acting being very well. So if they just took people that look like the characters and just use those voice actors, I'd be more interested. But that's just me.
No, you're not the only one. Voice is stuck.
Yeah, those characters had the voice acting was memorable. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that. Basically the characters that they had to represent these characters were like, and don't get me started on Lex Luthor. Don't get me started on Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is special.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg is special as Lex Luthor, and I'll leave it at that. And that's all I'm gonna say. April Fools, ladies and gents. Okay. All right. Basically now that we've gone over the graphics, the story. Well, we didn't go into the stories; that'd be spoilers. The graphics, the characters, the music. Can we just give our overall thoughts about the film? Those of us who watched it. Brownie, you can go first.
I'd say I wait for it to come out on DVD and rent it.
Oh.
I came out neutral after the theater.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, people saying that there's some deleted scenes, like 40 minutes, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to see what's this cut out footage about it, but I'm gonna rent it again just to see if my family members like it.
If it's a case of bad editing, I'm gonna sit up here and feel like snapping somebody in the face, man.
Yeah. I could say more, but it would be spoiler, so I'm not going to. My thoughts is this: everyone involved with this movie should be banished to the Phantom Zone. Like they should be left between the two spinning hoops, and have the ghost of Marlon Brando go up there with that comb over and be like, you ought to be punished, and walk away, and then have the Octagon come down and send Zack Snyder, David Goyer, and Zack Snyder's wife Debbie Snyder to the Forbidden Zone, and Hans Zimmer, because this film was just like, this film was like kind of like a narrative mess, in my opinion. It felt very the plot felt a little convoluted, and some of the Deus Ex Machina MacGuffin things, how they got through certain situations, was nonsensical and didn't even follow movie logic. So I felt like I was being talked down to as an audience member, like I was stupid. Like the film was like, you're too stupid to understand something intelligent, so we'll make it easy for you, dumbass. And I didn't like that. So for me, this film is a like, if you absolutely have to see it, go watch it. But as for like, if you want to see a really good superhero movie, wait 2 months until Civil War. I guarantee Civil War will be a better movie to watch.
I was about to say, I didn't.
Oh my God, he had to mention Civil War. Now,
yeah, I had. I guarantee you, Civil War will be a better movie to watch. I'm just telling you right now. And Civil War actually has a Batman who isn't stupid. His name is Black Panther. His name is Black Panther, and he's black, and he's not stupid. He doesn't do stupid shit. like other Batman characters in other films. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't look. Civil War could be terrible, but the track record of the people directing this film and the track record of Zack Snyder, I trust the Russo brothers over Zack Snyder and David Goyer and Zack Snyder's wife and Hans Zimmer. So I'm going with Civil War. Save your money, watch Civil War. If you have to watch this film, go ahead. But I would follow Brownie's thing and don't even go to the theater. Just get the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. You know it's going to come out on DVD.
Or watch it on cable or Netflix.
Yeah, or watch it on cable. I mean, look, Star Wars came out on Netflix. And remember when it took like 5 years for a Star Wars film to get on Betamax, Laserdisc, and VHS? Like 5, 6, 7 years. And like you were waiting like, man, like same thing with Indiana Jones. It was like a long ass time until you got that shit on recordable on media. You watch it at home.
It seems like a movie comes out in theaters and like you turn around, it's like out on DVD already. It's like what the heck? I remember when I saw a movie in the theaters, it took forever for movies to come out on like VHS or DVD back in the day. It's like turn around 3 months later, it's already there. It's like jeez.
You know, it's crazy. It's because they're trying to make up their money as quick as possible. When they don't have enough market penetration in the box office, they have to make up their money somehow. So they use the DVD market because a lot of people like collecting DVDs for some odd reason, you know what I'm saying, for the sake of collecting them, or Blu-rays. And I figure that's the reason why they do this.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it just, I'm sorry, this film is just, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's time to get to these other topics. By the way, if you're watching, you can leave questions in the Q&A section. We'll try to answer them if humanly possible, but we are humans, so we might not get to all of them. The other questions we have in this episode are, or not questions, topics. The other topics that we have are, well, a lady was fired at Nintendo's Treehouse.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, some people were like bragging about it, like, yeah. I'm like, that's not like if you lost your job, you wouldn't want people yeah.
Why were they bragging about it? Why were people like happy?
Dude, I don't know why people are happy someone got fired.
There's some people
because she said SJW.
Some people saying SJW, and some people are saying that she leaked information. I don't know what.
Dude, allow me to play devil's advocate here. Remember that whole entire thing that she wrote concerning pornography and how the producers should be basically the ones, you know, in trouble and not the ones who purchase it?
Yeah.
You're working for a family company, family-oriented company, and yet you're publicly declaring this, and you're in the treehouse where you're supposed to have a lot of public exposure. You don't think that's gonna mess her up? That's like one of them Disney kids getting pregnant in the middle.
Well,
I mean, it happens, dude. I mean, you take an agreement when you work for these companies, especially if they're family-oriented.
Look, I understand that. I'm simply saying that I don't. Like, here's the thing, okay? I've always tried to. I mean, I fail a lot of times, but I try to be classy. It's not classy to someone gets fired. Yeah, it serves you right.
No. I got you.
I mean, that's kind of, you know, that's. Childish. I mean, you know. I mean, that's, you know.
I got exactly where you're coming from, but what I'm saying, not to celebrate her being fired, I'm saying understand the reason why.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, listen. Okay, look. I don't know why she was fired. Nintendo said a certain thing. I don't understand all the circumstances about what she said or what she did. Because, like, a lot of the people who are reporting it are very biased either for or against what she said. So I can't really trust what they say. Well, she said this. She's an SJW. I mean, it depends on who you're asking. Like, I'm a black guy who's proud to be black. If you ask me, I can tell you tons of things that black folks, people of African American descent created. Because I'm proud to be black, some people say, you're reverse racist.
What's reverse racist? Either you're racist or you're racist.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, what is reverse racist? Hold on a second. Hold on, off topic. I got to ask this question because I've heard that term used many times before. And remember, I'm a guy that happens to be part of an interracial couple.
Yeah.
I happen to be Puerto Rican, and my wife's African American. Okay, and we don't see a difference in whatever. People are bigoted. People are bigoted. Even my son has caught himself saying certain remarks, and I had to correct him as far as observing life and whatever, and seeing how people act and whatnot. He gets upset over certain injustices, and I tell him that's those individuals and not the whole entire group. You cannot sit up here and assess a group over the actions of an individual.
Well, you can say that if you want to. If I see a white dude with his hair cut down, and he's like a skinhead, and he's walking up towards me, I don't care if you do have leukemia. I'm crossing the street.
Dude, let me tell you something right now. I don't blame you for that in a way. Like I said, there's certain things, certain injustices that happen, yes, and certain individuals may sit up here and inspire a sense of apprehension. But you shouldn't go around throughout life assessing people based on what a few individuals do. Remember, there is something as a vocal minority.
Oh, you're right. I'm just simply saying.
It's like a Nintendo fan base.
Yeah, I'm just
label us like because some Nintendo fan does a stupid thing, and they label us all like a stupid and crybaby and whatever.
No. What about that guy that sat up there and lured that girl to a hotel room using that app that Nintendo used to use? What was it called again?
The 3DS.
The 3DS. I forgot what it was called.
Swap Note.
Swap Note.
Swap Note. Okay, they tried to basically label all of us as those individuals that would do such a thing.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that to me makes society so stupid sometimes. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a firm believer in one thing. A person is smart. A person can be unique. A person can be refined. But people in a group are stupid.
Yep.
People in a group are stupid. I'm gonna tell you why. They sit up here, they come up with ideas, they cluster, and then they sit up here and blame and point. You don't want to be like that. You want to be an individual. Come up with your own thoughts. Make assessments on your own. You know what I'm saying? Don't get swept up into this nonsense. You know what
Yeah, I understand. I'm just simply saying that the thing is this, I mean, everyone has certain things that they identify with. I'm kind of an environmentalist, so I don't agree with people.
Shouldn't everybody be kind of an environmentalist? I mean,
no, they aren't.
Crazy.
They aren't, because people look at making money over the fact that until we figure out how to leave this planet and go to others, this is all we got. It's like you live in a house and it's so far underwater that you just got to live in that one house. We can't leave. We got to make do what we got.
Dude, let me tell you something right now. I was actually talking to Triple M and his family members about this. We got junk floating in space that crashes on Earth every day. When they do missions, they don't even bother to reclaim the garbage they got up there and bring it down and recycle it. That's how messed up we are. We're actually messing up stuff floating above us, dude.
Because this is how humans are. We think that something is going to last forever. We think the Earth is going to be around forever, and it's not. The Earth is an organism that will find its end at some point.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it's more likely we'll disappear before the Earth will at the rate we're going.
Yeah.
Which the cool thing for me is that I would like to be alive and see nature come back after humanity has left. That'd be cool.
I believe before that it's going to happen, because the thing is, the way the nature is, it's sturdy, it's delicate, to the eye, but to the unseen eye, there's things that underlie it that makes corrections, but a lot of stuff we do. Like in the case of, let's say, you get a sunken ship. Sure, that's a big piece of iron and whatnot, set up here and sinking down there and basically littering the floor of the ocean, right? But guess what it becomes over time? A reef that supports life. Nature finds a way, like they say.
Oh, that's what Ian Malcolm said in in Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way, which I've always kind of liked, because nature will find a way. Eventually.
Nature is a lot smarter and efficient than we give it credit for.
Dude, let me tell you something right now. I mean, looking at the mathematic designs they follow, look at the case of the honeycomb, how efficient that is, the design. You know what I'm saying? You got little tiny hexagons forming the perfect pattern to take the most advantage of space.
Yep.
And
It's you know.
brilliant. It's brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Yet we don't follow those type of patterns when we make things. You got termites that have air conditioning without the use of electricity,
Yep.
and they can regulate humidity.
And here's the thing, they figured this out. Nature, like little tiny animals that have no concept of emotions, figured this out before humans existed on this planet. And, I mean, it's kind of like, I hate to use this movie quote, but it's like Ken Watanabe said in Godzilla 2014, the arrogance of man is thinking that we control nature.
Oh, thank you, dude. I mean,
That's a good quote.
That's the arrogance of man.
if anything, we're supposed to be custodians of nature, but not controllers.
I don't even think like we can. I mean, we can't even. But at the rate we are, we can't even be good custodians of nature because we consume and consume and consume and consume and.
I got a feeling we're going to get to a point, dude, where let's just
It's ridiculous.
get a big universal slap in the face and be put in our place. I got a feeling something's going to happen where things are going to be set right.
Well, I was talking with someone one day, and I said we need like an epidemic like they had back in the day when they had the Black Plague in Europe, and it killed like half of the population. We just need something to just, just thin the herd a little bit. See, modern medicine and technology and that's just
maybe. And another thing that would help is to get rid of a lot of the vanity and the just self-absorbed sort of world that we live in.
Nah, man, we need to like literally like 50% of the people on the planet just need to just. Sorry, just.
I know. You're talking about a culling.
You guys, look, listen. It's nothing personal. Just look, listen. Because here's the thing, okay? I'm a huge Star Trek fan. It's the 21st century. We should have been flying on spaceships to other galaxies at this point. I mean, other solar systems at this point.
Every time that we develop a technology or we develop a sense of progress, we end up going into a retrograde. Take a look at the fact that 2,000 years ago, you had surgery implemented, instruments that are used even in modern day.
Yeah, those obsidian scalpels that they had. Like, there were Indian physicians in India that figured out how to do cataract surgery with obsidian blades in like 200 AD, 300 AD.
Yeah, Mr. Rock.
Are you talking about lens flipping, where they flip the lens, get the cataract out, and then just take it out with a little straw?
Not even, no. Like, they literally figured out how to scrape the eye. Like, they give them some type of like seed of the poppy, which was opium. Sap of the poppy was opium, and they just scrape it off. And bandage off their eye. Don't take it off for like 3 weeks. Change the battery change the bandage every like 2 or 3 days or something. And I mean, people having eye surgery and being able to see. We're getting off into philosophy and natural and human and anthropology.
One more quick thing. Mr. Red Fox, we've talked about this before on off-air chats. We say that you mentioned. We think we're so much smarter and so much more intelligent when people way before us have thought of this stuff before. We sit on the backs of giants. That's all.
Well, I mean, the reason this stuff was a lot of knowledge that was lost was when you have a lot of, and I hate to say this, I know people are going to get mad, but a lot of religious fundamentalism basically retards the growth because basically you have two parts of your brain. You have the faith part of it, which is where you accept the things that exist on faith, and then you have the rational part of you, which questions everything and wants to break it apart and analyze it. And like science, the root of science is doubting everything. But like basically faith is like you don't doubt it. You basically have faith in it, that it's going to, and I know some people are going to say, well, I mean, it goes beyond religion. Like, you have faith that if your car is well maintained, it's going to work. You have faith that, if you pay your insurance, if something happens, they're going to do the payout. So you have faith that if you do everything you're supposed to do, things will be taken care of. But I mean, science is not about faith. Like, you can't go by, well, if everything that's not in.
No, it depends though, because you got to look at it this way. Certain people look at science as an extension of faith. They look at the constructs of nature as an extension of the creation of God Himself, versus people that may look at creation or evolution and say that these things came about through random incidences of chemical chance. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
There's always two sides of the debate, and the thing is, we won't know until we get to the point where we're faced with the reality of whether faith is true or whether it's sole grasp on science and nothing else. Now, that is not to say that science in itself and faith cannot exist and harmonize.
Like I said, I really don't. I don't like. The thing is this. I don't know because, I'm a rationalist. So if it cannot be measured, quantified, or qualified, I'm not gonna say it exists because there's no way to tell.
Okay,
you don't know.
Dark matter, does it exist? Dark energy, does it exist? Hasn't been quantified yet.
Well, they haven't quantified it, but they have qualified it, and there is circumstantial evidence that it exists.
You realize I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that there is, but I mean, like, okay, there's no proof of existence that an invisible man who lives in the ethereal beyond is watching everything you do and created everything with a simple thought, and who created social mores which govern our lives, and if you die in the state of not being in line with his social mores, he'll send you to a place of eternal torment till the end of time, well, beyond time, because hell is eternal. But he loves you. There's no proof of that either, but people believe it. So, I mean, I can't go either way. I didn't want this to get into religion or metaphysics.
No, it's fine.
I got a question.
It's just all different beliefs and
Go ahead.
different beliefs and whatnot.
Dude, the thing is, it's good to have these conversations that's constructive. When you become combative in these conversations and try to defend your point with as much hostility as possible, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this though, like, this is nothing to do with religion, but it's kind of like a theory that I've been hearing. You know how basically we have a heaven and a hell, but usually hell is like underneath the earth, and how people are supposed to burn when they do bad things. But when you look at the world and see all sorts of bad that's going on today, it's like maybe there is a hell, but it's actually here on earth.
Well, when I go for my theology, I typically tend to look at like modern theologians. Modern theologians base their thinkings on philosophers like Socrates, Plato, Euripides, Thomas More, stuff like that. Hell. The idea of hell being a place of fire and eternal torment underneath the earth, that's something that the ancient Jews kind of stole from the Babylonians. Really, the idea of hell is basically just it's a state of existence. It's not really
a place.
It's not.
Ironically, but you just said the Jews did that. It wasn't the Jews. It was the so-called Christians from Christendom over there in the 3rd century that came up with that idea.
Well, no, the idea of hell.
The Judaic idea of hell, which is Sheol.
The idea of hell and Sheol, the Christians stole from the Jews. The Jews themselves had no concept of hell until they had contact with the Babylonians, because the Babylonians had a divergence in their religions where, like, some of them believed, like, in Bahamut and Tiamat forgot the name of the big cultural hero of the Babylonians.
Gilgamesh?
Yeah, Gilgamesh, stuff like that. But they also had Zoroastrianism, which basically had, like, Zoroastrianism is basically, when you hear those stories in 1001 Tales where it's like about like Solomon creating a ring to enslave demons to turn them into genies and like stuff like that. Like that's where Zoroastrianism kind of has that stuff is kind of a derivative of Zoroastrianism, and basically that idea of there being a place of eternal torment and fire, like they got from Zoroastrianism, because Zoroastrianism was really hot like 2,300 years ago. It was really hot, baby. It was it was the happening religion. And when Judaism, I mean, that's what religions do. They contact other religions and then they steal their ideas. Like if you're near a religion whose chief deity is a snake, then in order to put down that religion, you would add to your religion that like your deity defeated their deity that was a snake. Like it becomes which is why when people say like all that type of stuff, it's like, well, like for me, when I look at religion, I treat it like I do. I'm interested in it, but I treat it like I do Greek mythology, because there was a time when people believed that shit was true, and so like I basically treat it like, oh, this is like Greek mythology. I can understand that. I like Greek mythology. It's very interesting to listen to. But we need to get off of that.
All I have is hell on earth.
Not for nothing, but I bet you.
Yeah, let's turn out from Batman v Superman to.
No, but listen, I bet you right now there's a whole bunch of people who was taking up this study in college, writing down notes.
They could.
I mean,
the next
talking to a college kid right here, so.
Yeah, the next
thing about Jarrell conversation.
More like a college bum.
the next topic is Tim Schafer's money problems. He gave $30,000 to Feminist Frequency's Kickstarter. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Okay, this guy's trying to Kickstarter for his own game. It's ridiculous that he gives away money. There, I said it, so now you don't.
Those bastards who those poor suckers, those poor bastards who donated to his Kickstarter were just robbed.
I don't even know who that guy is. That's the
He's the
only
one
one.
that made
Oh my God, Brownie, you're just.
I'm trying. What's his name again? I'm looking it
He
up.
was like
Tim
one of the
Schafer.
pioneers
Okay,
of.
you don't need to look it up. Tim Schafer is the guy who got a job at a little-known video game company back in the day / development house called LucasArts Games. Okay, LucasArts Games was the game division of LucasArts. LucasArts gave us such wonderful films as Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. They also gave us such not good films, such as Willow. Well, actually, I liked Willow. I don't know about you
Come
guys.
on now, Willow was okay.
I liked Willow. I mean, it had Warwick Davis. It had Wicket. I mean, it had Wicket as the main character. Young Val Kilmer
I've seen that guy.
as a swordsman. They also gave us the movie that people hate, Howard the Duck, which I don't care what anyone says.
No.
Any film that has a female duck in a bathtub about to play with herself, naked, in the first 5 minutes of the film.
Wow.
Yeah, oh, dude, please, yeah.
Way to go, George. Way to go.
I've already seen Nostalgia Critics video, and I don't need to see it again.
I like Howard the Duck. I used to watch that film when I was a little kid. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, my God, George, you're sick. But anyway, and an implied sexual relationship between a female character and a duck. This is furries before furries exist, people. Furries before furries existed.
Way before Sonic 06. Just
So
saying.
I'm gonna tell you right now, folks. George Lucas is a trendsetter. And that's, I'm saying that kind of funny, but it's also kind of true. But anyway, so LucasArts, but their video game division made Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango, Full Throttle, Maniac Mansion, the Monkey Island games. Like, they were really big in making adventure games. They also licensed Star Wars: The Old Republic, KOTOR, KOTOR 2, those X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, Rebel Alliance. I mean, they used to be top of the. They used to be pretty damn badass, and then George Lucas sold everything to Disney, and we haven't gotten a good Disney Star Wars game since.
Yeah. That sounds sad, dude.
I think EA is to blame for that when it comes to games.
Well, I mean, we got Lego Star Wars, but I mean, Lego Star Wars is pretty good, but not great.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 3, aka 50% less content than Battlefront 2, made by DICE, the same people who gave you the craptastic Battlefield 4. It's,
Don't mind me. I'm over here looking on Amazon. They just posted something in my email talking about some Elder Scrolls anthology.
yeah. Let me put it this way: when they make the remake of Morrowind and using the Skyrim engine, I'm gonna get it. But
I hear you.
it's hard to play Morrowind now. That game is really hard to play.
I know everybody walks around like they got a wedgie.
Well, not just that. I mean, the combat is kind of ass. The story is good. The quests are good, but the gameplay system is just, ugh. To tell you the truth, I think Oblivion had the best gameplay system. It was like kind of like the best of both worlds. You had the old school RPG-ness of old Elder Scrolls games, but the combat system was a little bit better than was still like computer friendly. But I digress. So your guys' thoughts on Tim Schafer giving $30,000 to Anita Sarkeesian?
You were robbed.
Oh,
You were
hell no.
robbed. You were had.
Well, who
I'm gonna keep it simple. Anyone that supports that bitch, yeah.
Okay, and people, I'm sorry for the late reaction. I didn't hear the name Anita Sarkeesian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I said feminist frequency. You should have.
Oh, no.
That's Anita
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Brownie.
Bob Chipman has a crush on Anita Sarkeesian. I'm like, Bob, you look like you ate like 3 Anita Sarkeesians, and I don't mean in a good way either.
Bob Chipman is. I used to like his stuff, but then he was crazy.
Too, but
he was insane.
He's like, you know, yeah, she's so awesome. I'm like, dude, Bob, no, Bob.
Is he trying to screw her or something? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, because I'm going to keep it real. I don't like Anita Sarkeesian, but for some reason, looking at her, she looks like a prime candidate for a hate fuck.
Oh, that's not right. That's not right.
Just grab the back of her head and push it in the pillow and just be like, don't say shit. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
See, people go to jail for that kind of
Your
stuff.
channel's gonna be shut down tonight.
It's over, man.
I'm sorry.
Dude, no lie, I had to turn down my daggone speakers because of what he said. Because my wife's gonna come in the room. We got grandkids in here, you know.
Well, I mean, she looks like a prime candidate for just like.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. Let her bite the pillow. I get you.
Yeah, you know. So some people, I mean, she's not. I mean, look, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing people need to understand about Anita Sarkeesian. Everything she says is basically written for her by McIntyre, the guy behind all that. And basically, everything she says is calculated to draw a negative response from quote-unquote gamers who actually know some of the history of gaming. So, like, for people like, man, Anita Sarkeesian, the best thing you can do is just ignore her. Don't watch your stuff. Don't share it. Just ignore her. Because anyone who's been in a relationship knows, what's the one thing that makes a woman angry?
When you ignore them.
When you ignore them. Right? So if you ignore, you win.
You win every time.
You win every time, yeah.
Unless she tries to kill you, then you might as well just get the hell out of that relationship as quickly as possible.
Okay, now that we've covered Tim Schafer, people are angry. I guess everyone on the panel is mad. I'm the only one who doesn't really care. Anyone got any free topic they want to bring up before we wrap things up?
Yeah, that article that I figure I'd bring it back since a couple of things. Did any of you guys get a chance to read an article about an angry gamer who was talking about how old games are terrible and new games are great?
You mean how his whole argument was that video games now are great and old games were terrible, but he cherry picked all the old games he picked were actually kind of bad anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I read it. I mean, the dude was just. I mean, the people who think that gaming now is great. Okay, gaming now, if you look on the surface, is great. If you look at the facade, the front, it looks great. But it's like looking at a really nice house, and then you go inside, it's got termites, and it's like the plumbing is lead based, so it's like got lead in the water, and it's all jacked up and shit. You know, there was like a meth lab in the basement and a fire, so it smells like a meth house in the basement. Like it looks great on the outside, but you go inside, it's like, no. Old school gaming is like a brownstone. Yeah, it doesn't look like much. It's just a brick house in the front, but it's solid. It's built to last. It's got quality. You know, it doesn't have all the amenities. It doesn't have air conditioning. You're right. It doesn't have AC. But you know, you can open up the windows. It's in the Northeast. You don't need AC in the Northeast, in Maine or Connecticut.
Yeah.
Anyone got anything to say about that topic? Anyone?
How about the fact that they didn't release gameplay for Sun and Moon?
Okay, that's the elephant in the room. They didn't release gameplay for Sun and Moon. That game, they're working on.
Was that a leak? Was that a leak, or was that someone that made up that information, or was that? From Nintendo.
I think it was a leak. I think people were like, they're going to show game. They said they were going to show. Someone said they were going to show footage of Sun and Moon. Someone took that information and ran with it and said it was going to be gameplay footage. And then remember when you were a kid, you played the Whisper game, and someone would say something in someone else's ear, and it would go in like a chain. And by the time it got to the end of the chain, it sounded nothing like what the original phrase was.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was.
We're talking about that. Supposedly, they were gonna release Pokemon Sun and Moon gameplay tonight, but it turns out they didn't show anything.
Well, I have one question. Was this something that was said by and/or confirmed by Nintendo?
Nope.
Then
yo,
it's a hoax.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, the only thing they showed, it was some. Yeah, the only thing they showed is like Japanese like TV show that was pretty much merchandise for the Pokemon as a whole, and then they showed like an advertisement for like a new season, the anime, and then they eventually got to basically the same trailer we saw in February.
Yeah.
So, in order to cheer ourselves up, let's talk about things we want to see. Since everyone's always talking about stuff they want to see from Pokemon, let's talk about things we want to see from Pokemon Sun and Moon. Everyone gets one thing they would love to see. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Neo, go.
More than one. Go back to how it was in Pokemon Silver and Gold, where you actually had more than one region. I'd love to see that part back. Maybe it won't be able to with this generation with the 3DS, but maybe in the future, like for the next handheld, I would love to see something like that.
Or even better, let us choose our starting Pokemon from all the other regions.
Yeah.
Instead of just like what they give you.
But I don't think they'll do that for like a mainline title. I can see them doing for like maybe for like a console title, maybe like a spinoff, and you just go around.
They could do that. They could do that for a main title. Because let's keep it real. Every successive generation of starters suck. Worse than the last one.
I will say this. I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan or player, but I do love their games. I've played them a lot. I would say the one thing I want them to go back to, and this may or may not be related depending on how you want to look at it, but I want the epicness back. Like when you think about the first Pokemon, Red, Blue, and Yellow, I mean, to me, Mew and Mewtwo, that was epic. Especially when it comes to, you think about the Pokemon the first movie. Even when it came to Gold and Silver, as Neo mentioned, you had the legendary birds. Great. But it's like, now it's gotten so, it's like, I want them to bring back the cool factor in Pokemon. Period.
Oh.
Now it's just a whole bunch of, oh, we got new Pokemon. It's like, but yeah, a lot of these don't even really seem cool, though. They just seem like variations of shit we've seen before.
Corey would like to have a word with you.
Well, supposedly, Gen 5, I think it has a good story, but
You mean
that's
black
all I
and
know.
white?
Yeah, but I haven't played it, and
Uh,
the fan base for that gen is kind of
Dude,
irritating.
Black
dude,
and white
But
story was ass.
Gen 5 gave us Klefki, okay? Klefki, okay?
Black and white
That's
also
the
gave us
that's the
N.
that's the
That
that's that
douchebag.
Yeah, Klefki, that's that Pokemon was basically a set of keys.
Yeah, yeah. And it gave us N, who was the most annoying. N was the most annoying antagonist that I've ever seen. I'll
here
take
comes a hate.
I'll take
Wow.
I'll take Xander from X and Y over, because Xander was like a dumb Giovanni. Except he actually wanted to kill people. I'm like, okay, I can totally deal messing you up with my Pokemon. I don't care about messing up, some douchebag who, well, actually, are we enslaving the Pokemon? Shut up. Go sit down.
Oh Lord. I guess
Go
we gotta miss
make
the whole
friends with
entire point of
Pikachu.
playing Pokemon when they say this, what stuff like that.
Yeah, you're enslaving them. Yes, they're inside of a little ball, and then you can send them digitally to a computer. So technically speaking, Pokemon had digital monsters before Digimon did.
Yeah, Digimon came out like 2 years later.
So technically speaking, Pokemon should sue Digimon. Hey,
Yeah,
we're digital monsters.
Yeah, Digimon was 98 because Pokemon was 96.
Yep. Anyway, so you want to see Dr. Feelgood wants to see more epicness. Neo wants to see
Regions.
more regions. Who else got something they want to see from Pokemon?
I would love to
Well,
see something
okay.
interesting, a live action, like a live battle take from them.
I'd like a console remake of Red and Blue
Oh, that's nice.
HD.
You
That's
know what
what
I
should
would want to see?
happen.
I'll add to that. I would like to
So,
see.
so
I
you,
would
so
like to
you
see
actually
a
want to see an
remake.
overweight Pikachu?
I would like to see a console remake from the ground up of Red, Blue, Gold, and Silver combined into one huge game.
Mm. Can I add to that the fighting mechanics? I would like to see them enhanced, where they can do dual techniques or whatever when it's 2-on-2 fighting, a la Chrono Trigger.
And
Yeah.
if we're talking about HD console remake, what I do want them to put a lot of focus into is, on the nurse.
Oh Lord. No,
Nurse
no,
Joy.
think what I was
Yeah.
Okay,
saying
hey,
about
okay,
attacks.
okay, Brock.
Think about what I was saying about combining attacks, though. Imagine a water gun attack and then following up with thunder.
They
Yep.
did that in the show.
Yeah, in
Yep.
the show. So what I'm saying,
Yep.
why not do that in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see that, and I would like to see you be able to combine attacks, like your own attacks that your Pokemon know, in a fight. Like instead of this one attack, they attack, you attack, they attack, you attack. I would like to see you combine attacks. Like, you can use Fly plus Body Slam, so it would be like an even more powerful Body Slam. So,
Hey,
like,
you know one thing, and I don't mean to derail the topic, but one thing I never completely understood in reference to the Pokemon, animated series and even the cartoon is like when an opponent would throw an attack and they just simply say Pikachu dodge it. It's like, is everything dodgeable if they just say dodge the shit? Because it seems like there are sometimes you should say that word and you just don't. So are they gonna put that in the game to some extent?
well, they
Where
kind of
maybe
have attacks that naturally have dodges to them, and the only reason I say this is because as someone who played Red and chose Charmander as my starter, that Pokemon cannot take a hit at all. So you had to learn attacks that had dodges, so Fly, Dig, stuff like that.
Well, what I like to see is, depending on how many badges you have, is the difficulty of the gym leader. I mean, you can go in any gym, but depending how many badges you have, that's how many Pokemon or the level of the Pokemon's gym leader will be.
That'd be
Say,
cool.
say if they remake Gen 1, and I can go anywhere. I can choose to go Giovanni at first, but he'll have like weak ground types, and then later I can go to Brock and he'll have his Onyx and his and Golem because he evolved that
Geodude.
Geodude and some other Pokemon like because at level 40 or 50, depending on the gym, that's something I want. I mean, I just thought about it. It would be really neat.
That'd be cool, except I have to disagree with the Giovanni first because there's story. There's
Yeah.
story reasons why you couldn't play Giovanni first. But I would like to see replayable gyms, okay? Because I'm tired of having to grind against weak ass Pokemon. Because they give the wild Pokemon always give less XP than trained Pokemon. So
Yeah.
Well, the fan base will disagree
let's-
because they think X and Y is the easiest because of the experience share and all. But
well,
yeah, I
experience
get
share
you.
does make it easier. I'm not gonna lie, but it just whatever.
Yeah, it's like I'm playing Pokemon Blue, and it's just like the fact that I can't go back and play like the gym leaders or like the Elite Four. It's like it takes forever to level up. After you basically do everything.
Yeah, and then you gotta like grind against weak Pokemon. I mean,
Unless you,
it's-
even Victory Road, it's like it's monotonous, and that's like
Yeah.
the last round of the game.
it's not very good. Like they need places where you can grind your Pokemon. That's all I'm saying. They need places either that or give me a Coliseum where I can gain experience. Like and not like you got some Pokebucks that are useless except in the little shitty store we have here. Like I mean literally, I want to like fight and gain experience. Like
I got a question for you guys. Okay, it's off topic but sort of related. All right, and I'm gonna put it up on cam. What is your opinion of this game?
that is. I have
Yes, I
that
watch.
game. I
I don't
downloaded
own it.
I don't have it.
I own it. Okay.
I know Vicky loves it.
Yokai Watch is it. Okay. People kept on saying that this game is like Pokemon. It's not like Pokemon.
No,
it's
it's not.
It's more like Persona, except you have very little
Yes.
control over the monsters that
Mhm.
you capture or get to join you. Like they basically do their own thing, and you can give them suggestions, but they may or may not listen to it.
Yeah, it's a more kid-friendly in a way because it's Ghost. Pokemon for the
Yeah.
new people.
Yeah, it's basically a nicer Pokemon. But it's not Pokemon. Like people are like, it's
Now,
Pokemon.
don't get me wrong. I know what the real deal is if you look at my cam. Don't get me wrong.
you went with Pokemon Evil. That's okay.
Yeah, it ain't about Y, it's about X, dude. Get the hell out
Yeah.
of here.
About why, dude?
It's
I
not
don't
X.
know. I don't know.
I had to go Xerneas because I like the color blue. That's the only
I had
reason.
to go red, dude. I had to go red. I had to do it.
I had to go Y for the Megastones.
I had to go X because like while I did like the Salamander Charizard, you can buy that Megastone in the city, the opposite number one in the city at the Megastone store. So it's like I have no input. I will say this much though, the evolution, like normally the fire type evolution is like one of the coolest ones as starters, but in that game, the final fire evolution for the fox is not that impressive. But man, that final frog evolution, that
Yo,
ninja frog,
Ninja
frog
boy.
is not messing around.
cookie for the win. That's all I gotta say.
I named mine Gamma Bunta.
I
I
was
named mine Gamma Bunta after the big frog boss from Naruto.
Dude,
I was-
I get my frog after
was,
cookie.
I was team Finnick in X and Y.
I couldn't do it. I had to go with the frog.
Yeah, the second evolution, the first evolution is fine. But it's just that third one, yeah.
The
It's
final
not-
evolution
it doesn't
wasn't
look-
that
it
cool
does-
for the
Yeah,
for
that doesn't
fox.
look that badass.
There's a reason
The
why
second one is awesome. Yeah,
There's a reason why-
Brexin looks awesome.
it's in Pokken and not Delphos.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is this: they need to add that water type, frog type, the final evolution of.
You talking about Greninja?
Yeah, they need to add Greninja.
Dude, I
Pokemon,
don't understand why
yes.
Greninja wasn't even a main character in Pokken.
Yeah,
He's
I,
the best fit for the game more so than anyone else.
I'm gonna be a troll. They should add Pichu. That's like, cause he ain't been in a fighting game since Melee. Damn
Oh,
it.
shut up.
Oh boy.
man, to hell with
Oh,
Pichu.
really, man?
I know.
Get
No,
out of this
Dude,
I
house.
know. Wait. I say
Pichu is
that
the listen,
because
listen.
think
Hey,
about it.
listen. Pichu is the Dan, of
Mm,
Smash Brothers, man.
No,
Yeah, that's
Jigglypuff
why I
is the
uh,
said.
Dan of Smash
That's why
Brothers.
I said.
Pichu,
That's why I said.
Pichu's
Yeah,
even
Pichu.
worse.
That's why I said Pichu for Pokken because it could be like Dan Hibiki, like instead
No.
like his
No, they're gonna
fireball
do
his
Jigglypuff.
fireball
Unlike
disappears.
Capcom and
His
unlike
fireball.
SNK, Nintendo does not need to have troll characters in their games to waste a
They
damn
do have
slot.
troll characters. They have
Oh,
Jigglypuff.
they,
Jigglypuff is a troll character.
Jigglypuff doing that taunt is funny.
Yeah, Jiggly, Jiggly.
Jiggly,
Although
But she's not in
Jiggly has like a
Pokken.
one-hit KO. If she can go to sleep, like when she's right next to you, and you have damage over 50 or 60, it's instant KO. You're done. It's like ching.
But
Oh.
hey, I mean, hey, Jigglypuff came in handy in Melee for the last event when you against Giga Bowser. 2 sleeps would kill him.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a question from Nova Regen. I think everyone talked about what they wanted from Pokemon. Yokai Watch is good, but it's not the next Pokemon, and I wish people stop saying that. It's the next Pokemon. No, it isn't. Do you think comic book properties are better served through television series rather than films? How do you want to see the superhero genre in TV and movies complementing each other going forward? That's a damn good question, Nova Regen.
I would say
It depends on the
I'm
it
not
depends
well
on the
versed
series.
in comics, but I do enjoy the films and the series. I would say it just depends. Like I love the direction they're taking with Daredevil,
Yep.
the direction they're gonna go, and with Jessica Jones, and with the upcoming
mm-hmm.
Luke Cage. I'm loving that shit. However, the recent films, such as the Dark Knight series by Christopher Nolan, the Batman vs Superman, which I saw last night with my wife, and we really enjoyed. And even when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers, like I think from both sides it looks good. It's just that like years ago, but this is before the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, started. That they were kind of sucky if you think about the first Daredevil movie.
Yeah,
Like
that was Ben
it
Affleck.
was crappy, but I will say that I'm glad this show did it justice and did justice for the character, and I hope it continues that way because one thing I can say about the shows, depending on who has them, I like Netflix's approach to the show because they can do whatever the hell they want to do. So if it needs to
Yep.
get really dark, really bloody, or as you see in Jessica Jones, I mean they got some really graphic scenes in that series.
Yeah, you ever want to see superheroes have sex? Watch Jessica Jones
I mean,
and get insurance on all your shit because it's gonna get destroyed.
but that to me is like, I wish they would take some films that were done in the past of superheroes and put them in a space where they have no limitations. Cause like, can you imagine if a Wolverine film was rated R?
Yeah, they're making the last Wolverine film is gonna be rated R, and it's gonna
I'm,
be so much better because Wolverine is a rated R character. Like, I mean,
exactly.
I don't know why they made a Wolverine. It's PG-13. Really? Wolverine?
Yeah, the
And
game
you know
that
what's so funny?
the game
Even
that they
Wolverine's
made was
character in the
dude,
cartoon,
dude,
he was very, very rated R. Like
that's like
he
a
even did some things and said some things where it's like, you know what? You're always insulting people. You're always smoking. You're just not meant for kids, dude. I don't know why they try to turn you into a kid character.
Huge
Because that's
Jackson.
what we liked when we were young. What were you gonna say, Quan?
that's like basically taking Punisher and making it a PG film.
Which they did.
No.
They did. They did. They made 2 rated R films. One was the one in the 80s with Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher. That movie is like a hard R, and plus it has naked Dolph Lundgren in it, which is terrible for any child to ever see. but and then they did like the Thomas. Then they did one in the 90s that was like PG-13. No, 2000 something PG-13. The Thomas Jane one, and then they did the one that was like Warzone that was rated R, but it was like a comic book R, not like a hard R.
I enjoyed the one with Thomas Jane. I mean, as far as like him playing, is Frank Castle, but
Hmm.
the Warzone one, that one had the blood and the
Yeah, yeah.
gore that you would expect.
Well, the thing with me and Thomas Jane is this. Every time I see Thomas Jane, the first thing I saw him in was in the HBO series Hung. So every time I saw him, I'm like, it's the dude from
Mm.
Hung. Like, I mean, I can't take you seriously, dude. You're a gigolo. If you guys go Wikipedia Hung, you'll get the in joke after you read the Wikipedia of it.
I'll make it easier for you. Sexual innuendo.
Was this show directed by ICP? This is a Gigolo.
Who? The
Hung?
Punisher, the Thomas Jane
No,
Punisher, or
the
Hung?
show Hung.
It was home box office, HBO. So
Nobody got that joke. Oh, okay. All right. Fine.
yeah, that joke fell flatter than an 80-year-old hooker's titties.
Listen, there was a terrible band, a terrible joke band back in the 90s. They dressed up like clowns. Remember?
Yeah,
Anybody
yeah,
remember
you did.
ICP? Yeah.
That joke fell flat, dude. That joke fell flatter than a Coke that was opened and left there for like 6 days. It's flat, man, flat like water. So, anyone else got anything they think that would be better served as a television series than a film?
Have they tried a Spider-Man live-action series?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a link to the opening of that Spider-Man.
No.
Yes,
The Japanese-
it must be done. It must.
Okay, everyone leave the podcast
Is
now.
it
No.
Japanese?
No, it's not Japanese.
I saw a Japanese one, I think.
Spider-Man Japan's not that bad. But this Spider-Man opening, you're gonna Spider-Man TV show open
Okay, I'll look for it.
live action. No, you got it. Look, this oh man, no, I'm gonna leave you a link. You're gonna you're gonna love this. This is gonna
No, what they need to do, like every time there's going to be another X-Men movie, it's like they need to have like a TV show of like those characters that's going to be in the next big X-Men film, have their own little series done on television to expand the story a little bit more
you know.
and their background.
I have to agree with you, but you know what would be cool for me is if there's certain characters that you really can't build up in a movie. Like if they made like Fantastic Four, the movies have all sucked. The Fantastic Four movies have all sucked. But if they did like a Fantastic Four series, like a 26 episode series, where like it was like Monster of the Week Super Science type thing. Yeah. Look, doesn't it sound like a 70s Triple X film? It sounds terrible. It sounds terrible.
I seen Spider-Man back in the 70s, and I saw.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm like, what the blue hell, man? I mean,
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, like that's that'd
it
be.
looks like a porn parody.
Yeah, I mean, look, and if you think that's bad, like, here's how much of a Marvel fan I am. I saw the 1970s Doctor Strange film. Everyone's like, this is the first time Doctor Strange has been on the silver screen. No, it isn't. I remember watching the one from the 70s, and believe it or not, it's actually pretty faithful to the story, to the actual character's story, character arc. Unfortunately, it was made in the 70s, and Doctor Strange looks like he escaped from a porn set. He's got bell bottoms and the thing around his neck and the hairy chest and like the
Lord,
open shirt and the rings and shit. He looks like a pimp. He literally looks like a pimp. Which
They don't
look at how cool he looks. They should make Benedict Cumberbatch wear that outfit in the new one.
yeah, like going back to what I said, like yeah, I think that'll work best for some of the X-Men characters. So like, let's say the first about 6 episodes, like it's different arcs. The first 6 episodes could be out about, I don't know, Professor X, and then the next 6 could be about Cyclops, and then like Vogue, etc., etc. They could do that. I think it worked.
I could see that. What would really get me was if they did like an X-Men TV show and it was like like Monster of the Week. And Fox could do this because Fox holds, I mean, like Monster of the Week, but there's like an overlying thing. Like they could do the same thing with the Fantastic Four. Because think about it, the Fantastic Four movies have sucked by and large. They haven't been good. Because basically, there's so much stuff going on in Fantastic Four, you can't do a 2-hour-long movie and make it work. But if you were to do like, okay, you don't go through the origin story again because, you know, maybe just explaining backstories.
Done.
Yeah, and you basically start out with Reed Richards having to, like, he sold the Baxter Building because if you know anything about about Reed Richards, he's always in money problems because it takes a lot of money to fund super science. And so basically, like, he's trying to figure out a way to fix his friends, right? And so, like, he sells an invention to a mysterious buyer and buys the Baxter Building again. And he's trying to get the team back together so he can figure out a way to save them. But, I mean, it's been 5-6 years after they got turned into, you know, whatever they got turned into. So, like, he's, like, they've moved on with their lives. Like, Sue is off doing her own thing. Johnny's off doing his own thing. Ben is Ben, but he's still like, yeah, you're my friend, you're my ace, but, man, you didn't fix me. My marriage is in shambles.
Sit up here pelting him with tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, he's not having a good day. And if you follow the last Fox movie, Fantastic Four, he doesn't even have a dick anymore.
Yo.
He's got a
yo. When they do finally give him his junk back, they can rename it Fantastic Foreskin.
yeah. Which really, it's sad because the one dude made out of rock that you could really make some really good puns about, I mean, you can't even do it. You just can't. But dude, I digress.
Dude, the only thing good that was about the Fantastic Four movie that came out before, I'm not talking about the Roger Corman one. I'm talking about the one after that. The other thing good about that was the jokes that Johnny Storm made about Ben Grimm's junk, referring to Alicia Masters. That was fun.
I'm gonna keep it real. Those two films that came out between Fantastic Four Stick and Roger Corman's film, those films, believe it or not, like after watching the Fantastic Four Stick, those films got one thing very right. How basically, like, these people are very disparate and very dysfunctional, but at the end of the day, they're a family. Like, they got that down. The Fantastic Four Stick didn't even get that. Like, it was like, what the hell? But, I mean, this is why you don't give money to people who don't know shit about the source material. That worried me. It's like, no one read the comics, no one knew the characters. I'm like, oh, God, you done fucked up now. But I digress. No, I think they could...
Fucked up, son.
Please, don't say... Oh, God, no. But anyway, I think they could do kind of like a Monster of the Week with X-Men and Fantastic Four with like an overarching storyline that you would tie up at the end. Like, be like who... Like Professor X finds out that someone's been stealing these materials. It turns out Magneto's trying to create new mutants. And, like, at the very end, they have to come together to take out Magneto at Season 1. And then, like, Season 2 would be new enemies, like the Hellfire Club or the Morlocks or something like that. I think that could be a very interesting story. Kind of like how they did with X-Men, the animated series back in the day.
Yep. They've yet to replicate that such an awesome TV series.
It's the Juggernaut! Except they need to have a dude like do the voice for the Juggernaut. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Don't be asking me questions, bitch. I'm the Juggernaut.
Oh,
yeah, I think that was like a new like X-Men cartoon they made like a few years back, but yeah, I didn't care.
Yeah, they haven't. They lost the magic.
I haven't seen like none since Evolution. So.
They lost the magic. Like, when they took off that show, they tried to come back with, like, X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men and X-Men Mutant Academy, and it's just like, you lost the magic. You lost the magic. Could you see a Spawn TV show?
Again, you mean?
Well, yeah, again, because I'm going to tell you right now, you want to see some hardcore action? Spawn, the HBO Todd McFarlane Spawn TV show. Woo!
Dude, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Do you remember the Max on MTV's Oddities?
Oh yeah, yeah. They would
Oh
show.
my God! Talking about it strayed slightly from the source material in certain scenes only because of copyright reasons, but other
Yeah,
than that, it remained faithful.
yeah. The Max and Aeon Flux were two really good animated TV shows back in the day
That was on
on
MTV,
MTV.
wasn't it? Aeon
Yep,
Flux is on
the
MTV.
Max and Aeon Flux. Yep, it was good. They don't.
The Max was one of my favorites.
It was like the Max. I liked the concept of the Max, but it was kind of hard because where I was, like, I was never home when it came on, and this was before we had DVR or any of that stuff. So, like, I was always missing some of the episodes, so I never got to see the whole thing.
I wish they would bring it to Netflix.
What, the Max?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they should. They should bring that in Aeon Flux. Although some of the shit they did on Aeon Flux, you should not be able to get away with that on non-cable television.
Exactly.
I mean, some of the stuff they did on that shit was ridiculous. But anyone else have any other topics they want to bring up before we wrap things up?
Yeah, the PlayStation 4.5. Apparently
Oh Lord, you have to hit the
that's
hot
real.
button topic.
That's not a button topic. I only have one question, because last week we had a really good BS Busters with Liger, and we asked some very hard-hitting questions, and we discovered that a lot of it was bullshit. So here's my question. If the PS4 is the most powerful 8th generation hardware, why would they need to do a hardware upgrade for it?
Scared of the X, I guess.
I think part of it has to do with VR.
Yeah, VR and scared of the NX. I think of those two things.
Yeah.
And possibly split their user base, because at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of people who, I mean, like, you're going to have people who aren't going to upgrade, and you're going to have some people who be like, F you, I'm not going to trade in my old shit for new shit. So, like, are they that afraid of what Nintendo's coming out with? Because no one even knows what it is. Like, they've got a gag order on that shit. If someone leaks something, they got thrown off the top of a building by the We Would Like to Play guys. Maybe, allegedly. I don't have proof of this.
Oh wow, they got the pilot of the Amazing Spider-Man on YouTube. I'm definitely watching that.
Yeah, the one that has the theme music. Like, really? Like, his superpowers, he can go downstairs really fast. They actually had an episode where his only power, he just went downstairs really fast. He's like,
Oh, hold up. There's a link to every single intro to Spider-Man series ever.
I have to say the Fox 1990s one is the best still.
I thought you were going to say 1967.
The 67 one was kind of, come on, the 67 was like,
Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. That's cool, but I'm a 90s kid, so, you know, Spider-Man. I mean, it was basically a 90s version of what you had in the 60s, except, you know, except anyone notice that cartoon never had Spider-Man actually get physically violent with anyone?
Yeah, I noticed.
Like, he never just beat the head. Like, that's why we were so happy when we saw Spider-Man 2 and saw Spider-Man actually fighting. We were like, damn, Spider-Man getting in that ass.
Yeah, but yeah, that 60s thing, I mean, it's good, but you can tell that was made in the 60s. Like, that era just has those catchy things, but it didn't age well. Like, kind of like the Scooby-Doo theme song.
No, Scooby-Doo will be a classic forever. That and Space Ghost and Birdman. Space Ghost theme will forever be cool.
You like Birdman?
Yes, Birdman.
Birdman.
Yep, Birdman.
Nah, give me the Attorney at Law version on Dose.
And the Herculoids and Hanna-Barbera had some good shit, like Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh Lord.
Harvey Birdman. Birdman. Space Ghost had a cool theme song. I don't care what anyone says. That theme song was badass. Space Go, and don't forget, the best cartoon theme song ever of the 1960s was Johnny Quest. I don't care what anyone says. Johnny Quest.
Is deep.
Remember
You like it
that?
better than Scooby-Doo? Wow.
Yep.
Remember that crappy Johnny Quest show in the 90s?
That was pretty good too. It was done by Hanna-Barbera as well. It was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the original though.
Yeah.
It's really hard to top the original. It's like if they did a Jetsons now, we like half of those inventions we already have, so it's like they'd have to go even farther, you know. Although the Jetsons had a pretty cool theme song too.
Oh
Dun, dun,
God.
dun, dun. You know, meet George Jetson. Dun, 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 dun,
You know one main thing,
Jane, his wife.
you know the main thing I thought about that whole intro was the wife in the wallet.
Yeah, he's like his girl. No, his daughter. Oh, his daughter Judy.
There, boy, Elroy.
Their boy Elroy, Jane, his wife. He's like, he tries to hand her like 20. She takes the whole damn wallet. He's like, oh damn.
Yeah, the
And
whole
then he
truth
gets
is
to work.
Weren't they gonna make a movie about
he
that?
folds up his car, he puts it in his briefcase, and he walks into work. And he's on a treadmill. He puts down his briefcase. He sits in the chair, presses a button, and leans back. That's I'm like, you worked so hard, George Jetson.
Pressing a button all day. Remember he would get cramps on his finger?
But he didn't even do the
Don't
work.
talk about that shit.
The
I used to tell my wife
his
about
computer
that.
did the work.
Like, I remember one episode, he's like, man, these 4-hour days are killing me. I'm like, you lazy bastard.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll tell you what's cool. I'll tell you what I like about Hanna-Barbera, though. They were kind of subversive with how they did things. Like, I remember the one where Jane thought George was cheating on her. So she basically, he goes to this thing and she wears this mask and does this dance, and he loses his shit and he finds out it's his wife. And they don't tell you, but you know what they did after they got finished at that place.
Oh
They went
yeah,
back to the
they got
hotel
started
room.
like yeah, Scooby Doo was especially in toys where like you always see Daphne and Fred separate, but then you'll always see Velma, Scooby, and Shaggy together, but you never see Fred and Daphne together. Like
Yeah,
trying to
look,
find
they do. They go off together to do whatever Fred and Daphne do.
Yo,
We're not saying anything. We're just saying that they go off together.
dude, you want to talk about subversive? Take a look at Shaggy being hungry all the time. We all know what that's about.
Yeah, and
yeah,
they're
we know
always in the
something about
back. They're always in the
Back
back.
of the psychedelic van. Come on now.
Yeah, they're potheads, and Scooby's in on it too.
Plus that was the hippie era too, so there you go.
And it was a terrible economy because you got 4 kids who are, college age, not in college, driving around in all these abandoned towns and shut down plants and shuttered mines. I'm like, damn, what is this? The post-apocalyptic wasteland? What the hell is this shit? Super geniuses out of work.
They Hanna-Barbera, like they are, I always love that stuff because like you think it's for kids, but you'd be surprised it's both kid and adult stuff hidden in there.
Well, let's not forget they had the first progressive gay couple in Johnny Quest.
Oh yeah.
Lord.
Race Bannon and Benton Quest. Oh
It's
God.
like why it's like when like people probably like, oh man, that's a kids show. Talking about, let's say for the Flintstones, it's a kids show. Yet they had a commercial advertising cigarettes.
Well, not only that, you had Fred and
Wilma.
you had Fred and Barney go to a costume store, and Fred's like, hey, you can get an extra head and make yourself look like you're taller. And he's like, what do I need 3 heads for?
Oh.
Exactly. And this was back in the 60s, and they let that shit go. I'm like, oh my God.
It's almost like, look. Even
I was always more of a Flintstones person,
trying to be
Jetsons
funny,
person.
but
That's
that-
just me.
That's nothing new there's nothing new under the sun because that even happened in the 80s. There's a song called Diamond Girl. Re-listen to the lyrics sometime. Re-listen to the lyrics and then get back to me.
Well, most of the songs that we really love, when you get right down to it, like Papa Don't Preach is about a girl who's trying not to have an abortion. Let's see, what's another one that's kind of like, oh shit.
Diamond Girl was overt, dude. That mess was basically about a guy, let's say, digitally stimulated. Let me shut up.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
Raspberry Beret by Prince.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Brownie Takeshi. Think about it some more, and then it'll pop into your head what, like, because he's already got a head on his head, And another head.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Yeah, you got it. Okay. So anyway, that was in the '60s. Or how Fred, like, there wasn't any storks in Hanna-Barbera. Like, up until that point, if someone had a baby, it was the stork gave them the baby. Look, Fred and Wilma.
Yeah. See, I mean, like I said,
Okay,
that's
quick
like
question.
I'm,
Did they ever sleep
I'm,
in separate beds?
What?
You know how they used to do in the '60s? Everybody slept in separate beds.
Oh yeah, but Fred and Wilma didn't have separate beds.
There you go.
It was Fred and Wilma didn't have separate beds. George and Jane didn't have separate beds. You know, I mean, you know, and everyone was married. Like Fred and Wilma had been married for years, and they finally had a kid. George and Jane had 2 kids and a dog and a robot. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, look, I mean, it was very subversive. You know, you had Fred, Daphne, Shaggy, Velma, driving around in a van, solving mysteries.
fucking.
Probably. Probably. Well, look, definitely Fred and Daphne. I don't know about Velma and Shaggy, but could
I
be.
was always more of a Velma person than Daphne. But that's just me.
Yeah,
Oh,
Velma was smart. Like, if some shit jumped off, Velma knew how to get out of it, unless her glasses got knocked off. But but Daphne was always like, "Oh, help me, Fred."
Oh Lord, Daphne was a bubblehead and a half.
Yeah, damsel in distress, basically.
Dude, it's like going back to the old Marianne versus Ginger argument. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
From Gilligan's Island. I say Marianne all the way.
You know, personally speaking, I think if they just killed Gilligan, because he was the one always messing up their plans to get off, if they kill him, they'd all be fine. They could get off the island, no problem.
No, all they gotta do is send them off looking for some random thing that they know he's not gonna find. Build a raft and be gone.
He was the
kill
devil. He was keeping him on that island. They needed to kill him, maybe cannibalize him, so they had some supplies on the voyage out, and they can make it. And just never telling him, like, be like Samuel L. Jackson in that movie Deep Blue Sea, where he's like, "Yes, we survived. We can make it out of this
Crunch.
if you follow exactly what oh shit, a shark ate me! A fucking shark ate me!"
Dude, that was messed up. He was giving that epic speech, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, thing busts out from under him.
Yep, because Samuel L. Jackson makes every movie better. Like, even a bad movie like Snakes on a Plane, utterly bearable because Samuel L. Jackson is there. And even a good movie can be made slightly better, like the movie Jungle Fever, which it's a Spike Lee movie, it's a Spike Lee joint, but Samuel L. Jackson plays this crackhead, and I know some people say, "What's funny about that?" There's a scene where he steals his mom's TV and sells it, and Ruby Dee, who plays his mom's like, "I want my TV." He's like, "Mama, I smoked the TV."
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is awesome like that.
Or
Say
Coming to
what-
America, where
Say what again? Say what
Yeah,
again?
Say what one more time? What? Is what a language? What country is what? Is that a spoken language?
Okay, and on that note, Quan's got to get ready to go.
Yeah, it's time to wrap things up. I think we've gone far enough. Since you're about to leave, Quan, you can give your sign off first.
Okay, well, this is Quan Manchu, and I enjoyed talking with the guys here. Basically, we went off topic, but you know what? That's fun right there. I don't care what anybody says. It's good not to have a formula, you know?
Well, that's BS Busters. We always go off topic.
There you go, off the rails for the win. Anyway, I don't really have nothing but except for hopping from podcast to podcast for now. But I might start a podcast over there on my channel that's going to be individual, unique. I'm going to invite all these guys on there and a few others. And you know what I always say, everybody, whatever's clever.
You're like the dude from Quantum Leap, Quan. You leap from podcast to podcast trying to find the leap home.
Pretty much.
Okay, if you guys don't know Quantum Leap, you guys don't watch enough old stuff. You need to watch some old stuff. Who wants to go next?
Well, Sister Brownie, and that Spider-Man thing. I don't want a live action Spider-Man anymore after that. So
Come
I'll
on, you
leave it at
couldn't
that.
see a good live action Spider-Man with that theme music.
The thing was good. What broke me was the costume.
Oh, you mean the one where he's like hanging by a rope on his waist and swinging across a thing? Like he's
I
not
don't
even
know.
climbing the wall.
I don't know. As soon as I saw those cheap eyes, I lost it. I even had to mute myself to just calm down.
Dude, what about when he jumped up and floated to the ceiling?
Oh man.
Or he's like crawling a wall, but you can tell they just had the guy crawl like on the floor and then tilted it to the side, like how they did with old '60s Batman, where he's crawling up he's climbing up the building, but they're really just like holding a rope and like
This is some Kung Pao thing.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty
man.
bad. It's pretty bad. Okay, who wants to sign off next?
I'll go next. Neo here. Great podcast. We went from talking about Batman vs Superman to some philosophical stuff to pretty much Hanna-Barbera and everything in between. Great podcast, and I'm out.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay. Who wants to go next? Kenoshi?
Hello, this is Kenoshi. Glad to be on another one of Mr. Red Fox's podcasts. I will be doing another magician next week on Friday, probably around the same time.
Same bat time, same bat place. We are also joined briefly by Poppy2K. Poppy2K, say something.
Oh man, I'm sorry, gentlemen. I took a nap. My daughter took me to started reading me a bedtime story, and I fell asleep.
But she read you a bedtime story?
She loves to read, man. I tell
Man, you were tired, man. I know, man. It's tiring.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I ain't mad at you. Like Tupac.
Reading is fundamental, and as long as your daughter is reading, that's good.
She loves it. Yeah.
That means no one can ever fool her because she can read.
It's also hypnotic from what we could tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Hey, he's a parent, man. As we all know, once you're a parent, your energy levels get drained by like 50 to 60%.
I know. Trust me, man.
Well, you want to get to sleep at night, become a parent. You knock you out.
Oh, Lord. Don't get me started.
So we got Dr. Feelgood. Doctor, what you got to say?
Oh shit.
Sorry I hopped in late. Was out with the wife. Enjoying the day, but glad that I could be here. Batman vs Superman is the shit. Don't believe the fucking critics. Tell them to kiss your dick. Anyway,
It's a good thing.
It was terrible, and no, I'm not kissing anyone.
Oh shit.
I
was waiting for that.
It's a good thing.
I recommend everybody, pick up that Pokken tournament I'm playing right now.
Shut up.
Okay, at least you got that right.
OGL coming up on Thursday. I believe it's number 12.
Tell the man to kiss his dick.
Hey, I didn't say kiss my dick. I said kiss a dick.
Well, I'm gonna say it's a terrible film, and save your money and go watch Civil War.
Feel good. You weren't around the other day when he reviewed the movie. I mean, he's already. So,
Hey, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, it had its flaws, but overall, I give it at least a solid B.
so it's worth watching. It's worth watching.
It's definitely worth watching, especially since my wife and I we went to the drive-in theater where they had that, and the follow-up movie was Deadpool, and we already seen that.
Oh, man, you got two good movies. Where's this at? Where the fuck is this at?
High. That's what
There's like 2 drive-in theaters within in my location. I'm in Texas.
Oh shit, I'm in Flow Rider.
So yeah, it was like $6 to get 2 movies, and our screen was Batman vs Superman and Deadpool.
Oh shit, nice.
Damn.
That's a good deal.
You seen
that
that movie
mediocre
like
movie
5
and one
times
good
now,
one.
dog?
I've only seen Deadpool twice.
Oh.
That was the second time.
Okay.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, trust me, I will watch it 10 times.
Damn.
I
Yeah,
mean,
just for
it's
the
good.
goddamn
That good, huh?
penis part. I know, I get it.
But
No, no,
but
look, man.
seriously, be sure to check out the OGL this coming Thursday. I will be doing another Turf War Tuesday. Um, so if you bastards think you got what it takes to take down Lord Dynamo, come at me so I can give you as an enema with this Dynamo roller.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he will kick your ass because I still got the ink marks on my Inkling's ass to prove it. The ink is real. The pain is real. Who wants to go next? Who hasn't gone? Everyone's gone. Everyone's gone except me. Okay. This is me. No, Kenoshi, you haven't gone. Kenoshi.
No, I've gone.
Oh, okay. Well, dang, I'm losing my damn mind. This is Mr. Red Fox. This
Watching
actually,
that Batman 3 times. This is what it is, man.
we actually got to see. We actually got through a podcast that wasn't like 4 hours long. It was technically only 2 hours, but we got started a little late. So, boom shakalaka. Watch whatever the hell you want. Even if you love Batman vs Superman, and I think it's terrible, as long as you enjoyed it, good for you. But go watch Civil War. Watch Black Panther getting that ass.